Hello, friends. My name is Angela Olmos, and this is my real estate show. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Northeast Florida, and today I have my good friend and professional photographer, Robert Pipas, here with me.
Hello.
So it's great to have him. I know I've been trying to get him on the show, and I'm glad that he is here. I met Robert when I posted a coming soon for a new listing that I had coming up in Jacksonville. And I love that he reached out to me to say, hey, can I help you with those photos? And what I like about that is that he reached out. A lot of people just wait for us to connect, and I like that he took a proactive approach. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate photography?
Sure. A little bit about myself. On the personal side, I was born and raised up in New York. So if you hear a little bit of an accent, that's where it's from. And then I gradually moved my way down here after living about 10 years in North Carolina. And then, as far as how I got into real estate photography, it's always been a passion of mine. Always had a camera in my hand, and I had the opportunity to collaborate with other real estate photographers across the country. So I got to learn some tricks of the trade, I guess you can say, and just basically picked that niche and ran with it.
Well, you're very good at it, and I truly appreciate that we connected. Now, I'd like to show you some of his work so that way you guys can see the beautiful images that he produces. This was actually a listing of mine. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're able to do such great quality photos?
Sure. Usually the first thing that I think of is the composition of the photo. Like, where am I going to set up? Where am I going to take the photo from to capture what angle? And a lot of that has to do, like if you look at this photo, a lot of it has to do with where the sun is as far as the exteriors go. And then the interiors, I try to show a lot of the flow of the room. So not only am I trying to capture the room that I'm in photographing, but I'm also trying to capture the adjoining rooms to show how the house is laid out.
Awesome. And obviously the outdoors is a big highlight living here in Florida. So I like how you're able to do that. Now, another thing that that I like is that you're able to capture details like the height of the ceilings, which is something that always makes the house feel so much bigger, right?
Right. Yeah, with that, the camera that I use has exchangeable lenses on it. So when I go into a room, I kind of make a choice on which lens to use.
Fabulous. Well, that helps a lot. Now, one of the things that we've been noticing a lot of is the use of drones in real estate photography. And that's just a great benefit for someone that might be looking at the house from out of town or maybe perhaps even a different country. So it just gives them another angle, to appreciate things like the amenities that come along with the lifestyle. Can you tell us a little bit about the licensing that's required and the do's and don'ts of the drones?
Sure. When I first got the drone and first looked into incorporating that into the real estate photography business, the first thing that I learned was that when you use a drone for commercial purposes, being in regulation is very important. And, part of owning a drone is to get Part 107 certified with the FAA. So I went up to the airport after studying for the exam, which is pretty close to studying for a regular pilot's license. And took the exam, passed it. It not only protects myself in the business, but also protects the agent, where if the agent hires somebody that doesn't have a Part 107 certificate with the FAA, there's a steep fine for them as well. So it's protecting myself and my clients.
And I appreciate that. I really do. Now, another thing that we've been noticing that's trending with real estate photography is, the use of, so drones. A couple more things that I did want to highlight. You're able to just capture things like, for example, this listing that I had sits on an acre of land.
Right.
And the only way to really be able to showcase the benefit of having that much land is to be able to show them, hey, there's the house, but you get all of that with it. So I thought I mentioned that. Okay, going into trends, twilights. These are things that I see popping up recently that we're using for real estate photography. So can you tell us a little bit about the twilight photos and the benefits of having those?
Sure. I'll start off by saying there's two different types of twilights. This particular one is actually what I call a day to dusk. It was actually taken during the day, and then I edited it to make it look like a twilight. So that, rush hour traffic around here can be crazy, especially this time of the year where sunset's around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. That, you know, the agents don't really want to get tied up in the traffic trying to capture that twilight photo. Same thing with this photo. This is actually a day to dusk. I took that around, I think, 11 a.m. and then just edited it to make it look like a twilight. But as far as the benefits go, I think why we're seeing the trend is because it captures, I think it captures the viewer's attention just a split hair longer. So I think the average view time for a buyer when he's looking online at houses is something like 1.3 seconds a photo or something like that. And I feel like these, in addition to other detail shots, it holds their attention just a little bit longer. So instead of like 1.3, it's probably like 2.2, that they're able to kind of like sink into the photo a little bit more and sort of envision themselves there. And to me, I think probably one of the biggest benefits is that when people are viewing houses online for a potential purchase, you know, this is sort of like their first impression or their first chance at forming an opinion on how they think they're going to feel about the house. And to get that right off the bat, I think kind of helps with the turnaround time of houses.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I see that in my practice quite a bit. You know, I see how people first initially start their search online. And I love the convenience of doing that because they can see this at their own time, in their own agenda, and absolutely important to be able to capture their attention and get them interested in the home so that they can reach out to me and schedule an appointment and potentially get them into the home of their dreams. So all of this, there's a method, there's a process, there's definitely an expertise level that that we bring to the table that I like every viewer to realize, you know, definitely these are crucial elements that will make the transaction go so much better when you're selling a home. So thank you for showing us that. And then another thing that I wanted to highlight today is the use of virtual staging. Okay, so technology has definitely taken over a lot in the real estate space, and we're seeing vacant homes appear more attractive because of the use of virtual staging. So here you have one of those. So how is this even possible? How are you doing this, Robert?
It's a separate editing software. It sort of goes along the same lines as the twilights, where you got like the real twilights, and then you have sort of like, I'll call it like a fake twilight. You know, the data dust that we do, it's all in editing software, very manual. Same thing with this. It's a different editing software, but we can basically enter in a photo where there's no furniture, and then we have like an inventory of items as far as couches or dining room tables and chairs and wall fixtures and stuff that you know, we basically put it into the photo and adjust it and skew it to make it look as realistic as possible.
Very, very cool. Well, I love how it gives a viewer the opportunity to see the maximum potential in every home, in every room. You know, especially when we're dealing with people that are very visual. If they just see a white canvas, they can't really, you know, see how this will work for them. So here by, you know, placing the headboard on the wall and actually having the lounge chair on the other side and placing the TV, it just opens up their mind to see what potentially would be like living in that home.
Right.
So it's great how we're able to use technology now to help our buyers see that and facilitate their experience. So I definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Yep,
I really enjoyed working with Robert. And should you be interested in selling a home or have been thinking about putting a home on the market, I'd love to show you how we can bring the most amount of views to your property so that you can potentially get more showings and then get a buyer in there quicker for the most amount of money, of course. So I'd love to show you what we can do. Should anyone want to connect with you directly, Robert, what's the best way to do that?
Cell phone or email. It's area code 919-610-0192, or you can just shoot me an email over at pipasimagery@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. And we'll go ahead and post those on the description on this post, so that way you can grab that information from there as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this type of content, please be sure to share this with anyone that might be in the process of staging a home or has potentially thought about listing a home for sale. We'd love to be able to help out. And I'd like to be your main resource for buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Until next time, thank you for watching.